shelters. My name is Ramazai Salah Mohammed, and my thesis title is Bus Shelters, Visibility, Shelter, and Power. And my architectural problem is based here in Hampton, Virginia. And it's actually a variety of sites all throughout Hampton because it obviously deals with the bus routes that we have in Hampton. And people might wonder, like, what's wrong with the bus shelters that we already have? Why don't they work? And the thing is, they don't really respond to the climate conditions and the passenger needs of the people in the area. There have been a lot of innovative designs by MIT, by famous architects, and they're very pretty designs, and they have lots of functions included in them, but they don't really address the needs that I found were most needed in the area. And as far as context, economically, of course, not everybody can afford a car, so people need to use the bus, but culturally, people don't seem to understand, like, once you get a car, you sort of be pretty sensitive to the needs of people who do use the bus. And climatically, Hampton has a temperate climate, so it has all of these seasons, and it also experiences very heavy rainfall, which makes the bus shelter signage more important. And of course, you have different levels of the problem. In certain sites, you have only the bus stop sign and nothing else, no seating, no shelter, or anything. And then you also have places like, I don't know if you've been to Walmart, there's only a bench and nothing else. And then you also have places where, of course, you have the shelter, the enclosure. But I found those are really effective. And in using them myself, I found that climatically in the winter it gets freezing cold, and in the summer the glass traps in the heat. So I felt like a different solution needed to be created. And I actually studied riding in bus shelters all around, including one in San Francisco, which included solar power, which is one of the only mass-produced versions of solar powered bus shelters that I could find. And as far as enclosure, though, it didn't do very well. It did protect against sun, but of course,
bingo!
You can see here from this that they actually remove one of the rear panels, so it doesn't actually protect against rain. And since in San Francisco, they don't really address snow. So those are all those different enclosure things we have to deal with in Hampton that this does not address. So it has the functionality, it has next bus reliable systems, but climatically it's subpar. We also have the Union Station Red Bus Station in Washington, D.C. And that is actually just a parking garage with places for people to stand. There's not even places for people to sit. People will be waiting for hours at a time for their buses with no place to sit. And in the winter, it gets really awful because there's lots of wind. So it protects from rain, snow, and sunlight, but it doesn't protect from the wind.
So now the radiation is lower.
And another of my case studies was the Expo Tram Station, which was located in Hanover, Germany. And that one was actually, as it says, a rail station. And this one did a lot better on enclosure, one of the best ones I found. And it, of course, being Germany, it has to address snow and rain and sun. Of course, it didn't address wind so much because it's a completely open design. And as far as the visibility aspects, it has schedules just like all train stations do with the notification systems. And open sides, but that's basically mostly had enclosure, and it had none of the power aspects that I wanted to include in my design. And of course, we have the Super Stop located in Arlington, Virginia. And this one was actually interesting because it cost $1 million per stop, which a lot of people think it was ludicrous. A lot of people who heard about it were like, is it made out of gold? And the thing is, it actually doesn't protect from any of the elements, not sun, not wind, not rain, not snow. Actually, you can picture here of snow on the seats of the shelter. So for $1 million, what are you really getting? But the stop included heated sidewalks for people's feet to be warm, but you're still getting snow on the seats. And it had a next bus arrival system, but that actually got fried in the summer, so it's still on multiple levels not addressing the climate. But in here we have the Simple Bench, which was developed by MIT. It actually is a solar-powered charging station that is also a bench. So I thought this was interesting since it addresses the level of bench that we had here in Hampton. So that's something that could be included as a initial solution. And of course, it offers no enclosure, which is a problem, but it does still offer solar power and phone charging, and it's open all around. So for visibility, of course, it's really good. So my argument was based on the problem that bus shelters. Bingo. So many winners. Everybody's in that. Okay. I'll give you all the prizes. But bus shelters need to address their local climate as well as including the additional functions that are found to be necessary, such as phone charging, visibility, of course, lighting, and Wi-Fi. And I guess I should go more into the electricity of it. When people are riding the bus, like in some cases, bus schedules, they don't even get on the post. Some people have no idea when the next bus is coming. You should be waiting for 45 minutes for your next bus, and have no idea. And so Wi-Fi so you can check, as well as phone charging so you can be around the side of the house. And so my question was, how can you cohesively include the contrasting aspects of enclosure and visibility? Since when you have enclosure, looking out can be difficult, and if you have complete visibility, often enclosure suffers. Like a lot of the prefabricated bus shelters that I have here, they're made like all glass, so it's made in the greenhouse during summer, and you basically just get fried. And this is a problem throughout the Mid-Atlantic, because this is more or less the standard bus stop design. So my claim is that if bus shelters function like Camels, and their functions could be located at the top and also in the rear to provide flexibility of movement, so the functions are all the way to the top or the rear. So it doesn't affect the passenger movement, and it's also flexible in response to the climate. And my reasons were that water and energy could be stored at the top, additional functions could be located at the rear, and Camels can change their temperature based on the climate and have eyelashes they do not have. So evidence was, of course, for the top story was San Francisco, since they had the solar system and it worked really well for them at the top. And for reason two, a lot of bus shelters already have their advertisements and additional functions. In San Francisco actually had for a short time games and interactive things that you can do with the screens on the rear panels, so that way the passengers could still see the buses coming, but be doing other things while they were in. And for the third was being able to change the climate. As I said before, most bus stops are static, built like boxes or four boxes, and it doesn't really do well in the climate that we have. It changes so often. So what I'm saying is that bus shelters should be flexible, or possibly operable by the passengers, or even have parts that could be moved by the city themselves. San Francisco shelters were actually highly modular, so people were noting just how quickly they put them up when they were constructing them. So that would be something that they could easily implement. And so for my research, I actually have 5 phases of research. We have form and accessibility, and my question for that is, how do enclosure and accessibility affect the form of the shelter? Because even though you might have a beautiful shelter, that doesn't necessarily move well through it. And also ADA accessibility, because in San Francisco they actually took out that rear panel for ADA access, and that definitely crippled how the bus stop works pragmatically. So that is something that I thought was very important to deal with. Visibility, which is important not just for passenger use but also for safety, since a lot of people are worried that bus stops, if you create them to be too comfortable, people will gravitate to them and it will cause problems socially. So visibility in the bus stops was also very important, and also making sure passengers and buses can see each other, because that's something that happens where passengers are waiting and waiting and waiting, and then their bus finally comes and just drives right past them. And the third phase is solar powered electricity. So integrating all this in a bus shelter, how are people going to be actually using this? How is solar power collected? What are the most effective forms for solar power collection? So all that will be studied in phase 3. And there's going to be an update and review period during the midterm review. Phase 4, water collection and storage, which is, I feel like, an added value. since Hampton has so much rainfall, why not collect that water and do something productive with it? So sort of my basis for research was the idea of biomimicry, that's what my claim was sort of based off of. And I was watching this TED Talk and it was talking about creating systems that work together and create more than just what they're supposed to do. So I thought the water collection and storage would be something that would be useful in this program. And phase 5 is integration, taking all of these aspects and creating, well, multiple iterations of a bus shelter solution. So at the end of the day, I'm supposed to be creating 9 iterations, taking the best aspects from these phases and creating that in phase 4. We had a charrette, and for my charrette partner, I had this Allison Nicole. And we did the first phase, where I asked her to take trace paper and do plan sections and elevations of bus shelter concepts. And then take the best ones of those and put them into SketchUp and use sun angle charts to figure out how the sun affected the site. And also there were multiple site types, so we got to figure out how the shelters work within the sites. Any questions?